Welcome to Honest Money, your best guide to financial freedom. I'm Warren Ingram, the author of a few best-selling books, and I'm also an award-winning financial planner, and I've helped thousands of people on their journey to financial freedom. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I am here to share my experience and the best ideas that I've learned, and I hope these ideas help you on your journey to financial freedom. Honest Money is proudly sponsored by OUTsurance. Saving on your car insurance can start by SMSing CAR to 30165. If OUTsurance can't beat your current premium, you can ask them to give you 500 Rand. And if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years or more, make that 1,500 Rand. Whether it's saving or cash in your pocket, you always get something out. And that's the honest truth. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply. 50 cents per SMS. Welcome to Honest Money. It's brilliant to have you on our show again. We're very happy to have a guest from OUTsurance today, Natasha Kawalesar. Natasha, thanks very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Warren. Super excited to be here and to speak to your listeners.
So before we kick off, would you like to tell us a bit more about what you do at OUTsurance?
Absolutely. So I'm very passionate about what I do at OUTsurance. I look after our client experience. Now, our clients are, of course, our most important stakeholders in our business, and we believe in delivering an awesome experience to every client in every interaction, whether that is over the phone, face-to-face, or via our digital channels. My role is to ensure that this happens, and where it doesn't happen, to improve the experience for that client and bridge the gap so that we continuously improve.
Okay, fantastic. So Natasha, it's been a difficult time, I guess, for all South Africans with I guess the COVID world hitting us, and a lot of people are really worried about their money. And you know, one of the things I see as a financial planner when I talk about financial planning in general, when people get to tough times, they often their first instinct to make space in their budget is to cancel their insurances, which I always think is a disaster, because that's really a great way to tempt fate. When you cancel your insurance, that's usually when life happens. So rather than people cancelling the insurance, perhaps you can give us some pointers about how people can save money on the insurance, especially on their cars and their homes and their personal effects and even their business. If you can tell us more.
Yes, and I absolutely agree with you on that. However, I do come from a biased perspective being in insurance. But there are a couple of ways people can save on it. So sometimes it's cheaper when all your insurance products are at one company. Now, we don't always think about it, but if you have all your products together at one company, you tend to build up a portfolio and a profile with that client, with that insurer, and that helps you in the long run. Having said that, it might sound a little like I'm contradicting what I'm about to say now, but it's also good to shop around. Check what different insurers can offer you. Check what cover is provided and what rewards you may receive for not claiming. Another thing that we don't always think about is the security that we have at home. We may have electric fencing, burglar bars, and alarm system. It's important that your insurer knows what these security measures are, because it may impact on your premium as well. And then excess. Now, excess, this is the amount that you would have to pay in the event of there being a claim. If you can afford a higher excess, then maybe you should consider taking a higher excess, as that could possibly lower your premium as well. And then we all get super excited when we're buying a new car. And we don't always consider all the aspects tied up with buying a new car. But there's also the impact on insurance premium. And a large thing that factors into insurance premium is the value of your car. Then there may be other things like the performance of the car, any modifications or extras. And a simple thing that we may often overlook is the color of the car. All of these factors play into a role in determining the end premium. So and then finally, maybe a last point, maintain a good credit rating. Now, this will help you not just with insurance, but will stand you in good stead throughout.
I never realized that it makes sense that you said about a color. So I guess if I buy a car, I need to get the brightest, most glaring car someone can see, so that they don't crash into me.
Yep, and our claims experience has shown us that white cars, lighter colored cars, are the best choice in terms of incidents happening. So the brighter your car, the fewer the incidents.
That's a great point. Thank you very much. And so from my perspective as well, I think it's, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that you've brought up now, but one of the things I've always said to people is around that your point around the excess. If you've got cash, maybe stored extra cash in your bond or in a money market account, and you can afford to cover the highest excess possible with your own cash, then that's definitely going to make a big help on your insurance premiums, because I guess the insurance companies know that you're not going to claim for every little thing because your excess is high. So thanks, Natasha. I think those are great points for the person and the people listening. So I think the next point is, you're an insider and you've been in the industry a long time. So what tips can you give our listeners to get the best insurance at the best possible price?
Well, I think there is just one tip. Be honest with your insurer. You are asked a series of questions when you take out cover. Provide true and correct answers. An example that I can think of is, if your child is going to be driving the car the most often, then your child should be the regular driver or the nominated driver. Putting yourself as a parent down as the regular driver would probably only cause problems in the event of a claim. And the loss that you could experience then may far outweigh paying the correct premium. And then, of course, ensure that you're dealing with a reputable company. So do your research.
Thank you. And one of the things that I think about is we see insurance companies always get pinged in the media because they didn't pay a claim, and no one really asks the other side of the question is what did the person tell the insurance company at the start, and potentially, as you say, they if you're honest, you're more likely to get your claims paid, and that's the point of insurance. So saving a couple of $100 on not disclosing important information could cost you thousands or tens of thousands of rands if your claim gets denied. So I like the point. I think if we do business correctly and honestly on both sides of the equation, that's how the world works. The world works best.
Yes, it makes for the best relationships.
And so one of the things that struck me when I started my insurances a long time ago was I found things like my cell phone insurance and my laptop insurance particularly expensive. So I realized that if I stored extra cash and could cover that cash or that cost myself, that my insurances went down. So my question to you is it best not to insure things like mobile phones and laptops if I can afford to replace them, or is it still better to insure them?
So this is really an individual decision. If you can afford to replace your cell phone or your laptop, like you say, if you've saved up enough money to do that, then it might be better to insure them yourselves. So you basically self-insure them. You don't take out cover for it. But there's also something important to bear in mind, the value of the item and the loss. Now, you might be able to replace one cell phone or one laptop that's stolen in one incident. But what happens if there are multiple items stolen in an incident? Can you afford to replace all of them in one go? If you can't, then insurance is absolutely necessary. It's also it's something important to think about is whether you want to have your items as a standalone insured product or whether you'd rather have it as the basket insurance cover, which I spoke about. Standalone products might be more expensive, so consider your options.
Fantastic, thank you. I didn't actually think of that. What happens if I lose my cell phone, my laptop, and everything else all in one shot? That might set me back. So what are the common mistakes that people make that cause them to pay more on their insurances than they should?
So if I think about this, I think I'd rather start off with understanding why you want insurance cover. And some thoughts around this would be that insurance is there to protect you financially and for unforeseen events that occur. It allows you to go about your life with confidence that should something go wrong, you're protected. And I suppose a cliche, but peace of mind. With that background, there are a few things to consider. Get the cover that is appropriate for your needs. Cars that are financed require comprehensive car insurance, but in an older car, you may want to consider other options like essential or limited car insurance. So it's important that you ask questions and understand the feedback so that you can make the best decision for what you need. Then review the cover that you have to ensure you have the right cover at the correct values. And a simple example, we all know that electronic items depreciate or decrease in value because there are new models coming out all the time. But something like jewelry will increase in value. So make sure the value you insure your items for is the right value. And then finally, something you've already touched on, claiming for small value losses. Yes, insurance is there to cover you when you experience a loss, but you need to guard against claiming for every small loss. Claims experience is one of the factors that's considered during a review or a re-rate of your policy, and more claims will result in a higher premium in all probability.
Awesome. Thanks, Natasha. And I think, for the listener, the important thing to understand about that is insurance companies want to protect you when things really go wrong. But if they look at your history and you're forever claiming for every little thing, then what they're going to realize is that you might be using insurance as a form of your piggy bank, or you might be claiming for things that potentially don't need to claim for. And then they're going to load your premiums higher because you pose a much bigger risk to them. Whereas if you're claiming very infrequently for big events that have happened to you, then they're going to insure you correctly and hopefully at the most efficient premium possible. So it's important to understand, insurance is there for the real rainy day, and it's not there to claim for every time you make a small mistake. It's there for really big issues. And so if you claim infrequently but correctly when you do need the insurance, then you find your premiums are going to be the best possible, and so everybody wins, because if we're claiming for the things that are absolutely necessary, then our premiums go down over time, and that's how we win as an industry. But this is the Honest Money Show, and that's the point: is use insurance for what it's there for, and don't use it as your piggy bank, and you'll be fine. And so I'm going to wrap up there. Natasha, thank you so much for being on the show with us. It was really lovely to have you. I think your tips were great, and you definitely were in the theme of the show. We really appreciate your help.
You're most welcome. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you for listening to Honest Money. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me on Twitter. My handle is @WarrenIngram. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Chat soon. Honest Money was proudly brought to you by OUTsurance. Don't miss your chance for a car insurance saving or pocket full of cash. Remember, you can ask OUTsurance for 500 Rand if they can't beat your current premium, or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. SMS CAR to 30165 now to start your quote. OUTsurance. You always get something out. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply, 50 cents per SMS.